Where was I? I'm sitting on the couch with my family and I'm watching things unfold and I'm excited. I'm like, what could possibly go wrong? We had all good footage, 20 minutes or more of me chatting with them, and it was all good. So I'm watching and I'm like questioning what happened, and it really didn't portray on TV like what happened. It made fun of these and called them chopped up hands and feet, which I just ignored. Then the kicker was, I'm just standing there and I'm going like this. Kevin held up the foot and said, these casts can be made for rock stars who are well endowed. They all laughed. My face went. And I abruptly turned and I walked out. At that point, sitting there watching with my family, I fell to the ground. I'm like, oh. And my family goes, you didn't tell me that happened. Do not recall anything close to that. I was in shock. How could I forget what happened? My phone started ringing. People were like, how could you walk off? You were so insulted. Why did you take that from them? How can they take this beautiful little baby's foot and talk about a rock star's private parts and being well endowed? And I was in shock. Then one person said to me, it's apparent you weren't in the room when they said that. Wait, what? I wasn't in the room when they said it. They had edited it like that. So when I was leaving, and I'm like, oh, they're laughing and talking about me. No, they weren't. They're holding this up and talking about casting rock stars' private parts and being endowed. And I didn't put it together. They had edited it to look like I was there when they said this. And then, if you remember, they said, be really animated. So the reaction I had when they apparently said this in front of me, and I went like this, was when I was animated and I said, wait a minute, it wasn't about business, it was about franchising. That animation on my face, they had made it look like that was my response to the rock stars' private parts. And then they took a footage of me leaving. It looked like I was insulted and I walked off as they were still talking. It all made sense, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy, right? Who would believe that? We'll just completely forget that ever happened. Went to school the next day. Parents and I, we always, when kids were little, we chatted in front of the school for a few minutes. Got to face everybody. I wonder if anybody watched Dragon's Den last night. So I went to school. Everybody's silent. And the only thing that they said to me was, we saw you on TV last night. I'm like, oh, nice hair. That's it. I didn't even explain. I just walked away and went, yeah, I couldn't even talk about it. The next day, I went to the hairdresser. This was a year later when it was on the air, right? It was on the air, I had a bob up to about here. And then when I was at the hairdresser's a year later, my hair was long like this. So I'm in the chair, just cutting my hair, okay? And this girl came into the hairdresser. She goes, oh my God, did you see Dragon's Den last night? And I could see my hairdresser because very close to her and she knew what happened and we just didn't speak of it. So this girl's coming in going, that poor girl, they insulted her, she walked right off, and it was like the conversation of the day. And then my hairdresser said, this girl right here in my chair is Debbie, she was the one on TV. The other lady goes, no, it wasn't. She had short hair. This girl right here has long hair. And I said, it was a year ago. Dead silence. Dead silence. I've had so many opportunities to talk about it. It was a really big deal that somebody local was on Dragon's Den. I had opportunity to go on the radio, speak in front of the university, marketing department, the newspaper, and I didn't. It's probably 14 years later, and this is the first time I'm speaking of it. The first time. I just didn't want to burst everyone's bubble about this is what can happen on TV and it's not all what it looks like. Out of respect for the show, I still, to this day, I can't bring myself to watch it. Another funny thing, after it was aired, my poor kids, they were actually used to me being on TV because at that point I was on Canada AM, Breakfast TV, CHTV, like I was on TV a lot. They didn't really think much of it. However, every couple years it would show up again on reruns And at school, friends would be like, yeah, we saw you on TV last night. My kids would come home from school and say, yeah, I guess Dragon's Den reruns have aired again. Just like reliving this in my head. Hope you guys think that that is as funny a story as I do. I got through the trauma completely. I feel it was something that I got over and I've grown because of it. You know what I can do right now? I can jump on TV and be so confident in what I'm saying, and I'm not nervous anymore, realizing that anything can happen, and I will accept that. Yeah, that was freaking hard. Enjoy my apples and peanut butter and peace.